Hello, hello, welcome. I'm Reverend Tomás, and I want to just take a moment to thank all of you for joining me here on my YouTube channel, especially those who have recently been tuning in to these videos. I very much appreciate that. There are several new subscribers, so I really thank you for not just subscribing to this channel and watching the videos, but for your practice, for your efforts and your own courage on your spiritual path in your walk. That's what I'm most grateful for, is that you're showing up and doing it, because it requires vulnerability and courage here on the path. So I wanted to just record all of you here a brief message, and that is the topic, is vulnerability and courage. Some of you that are tuning in to the videos here have worked with me in the past, or you currently work with me. I'm a Soul Path certified mentor, a spiritual teacher and coach, and that requires a lot of vulnerability and courage on your part as well. And I really appreciate that. And I hope that you deep down appreciate all of that, even if the path, and because it is full of moments where you feel like you're backsliding, right? You feel like you've made such significant progress moving forward, only to have a situation arise and you feel like it isn't working in the moment. So to the extent that you're there right now, what I invite you to do is just indulge in a little comparative reality here with yourself. I'm not talking about comparing yourself to the Dalai Lama or the Pope or Oprah or anyone like that, because that leaves us feeling depressed and less than, which is not the aim of spiritual practice at all, is it? So I invite you to take a look at where you were when you began your practice, whatever that is. Where were you when you started out? Where are you now? What's the difference in you? Are you, in fact, more patient? Are you more loving? Do you laugh more? Could be. Are you more forgiving? These are all things to pay attention to. And in my own experience, I've found that particularly helpful when I'm having one of those days, because I have them. We all have them. We have days where it feels like we're just pissed off and life is coming at us, and we feel like we just can't get ahead, like we're drowning sometimes. So this can be really, really helpful. It's a helpful thing. And some of you have been practicing your own spiritual tradition, whatever that is, for many, many years. So if you started when you were in your 20s, what were you like then? What are you like now? I don't know. I find that to be a heartening question anytime you feel like it's not your day. So, as far as the vulnerability and courage piece, it takes courage to embark on the spiritual path, doesn't it? It takes courage and a significant amount of willingness to leave your discomfort zone. We call it a comfort zone. It's not really comfortable. Otherwise, we wouldn't seek out spiritual teachers. We wouldn't seek out materials or different spiritual practices. We wouldn't seek out the help of a mentor or a counselor or a pastor or a rabbi, a lama, an imam, whatever that looks like for you, a shaman, yeah, whatever. We wouldn't seek that out if we were totally comfortable and super happy, right? It takes courage to even take that first step. And it's vulnerability that comes into play here too. Because what we're saying when we approach a spiritual teacher, what people are saying, for example, if they want to work with me, what they're saying when they reach out is, you know what? I don't have all of the answers. what I'm doing clearly isn't working. I could use some help. I've said that to people. I've said that to non human teachers, to human teachers. It takes vulnerability to say, I need help. It takes courage. My way is not working. Everything that I have attempted to do to manipulate life has not led to lasting happiness. In fact, it's leading in exactly the opposite direction. It takes some real adult courage. Spirituality is for grown-ups, isn't it? It's that courage that gets us to act. It's that courage that gets us to ask for help. We could ask a human being for help, or we could pray for help. We could ask our inner teacher for help. We could ask God for help. We could ask your guide or guides for help. Again, this applies to every single one of us. This is universal. Spirituality is universal. It's the exterior form that seems to vary. That accounts for the variety of world religious traditions. That accounts for the variety of spiritual practices that we can find in this world. What is essential and a unifying theme is that courage, the vulnerability to say, okay, I don't have all the answers. I could use some help. So I'm very, very proud of all of you for saying that in whatever form that has been. You could ask a human being, or you could ask within. You could ask your inner teacher. You could pray for that. You could supplicate for that. You could journal for that. There are many things, many different ways that we can ask. And it is this vulnerability and courage that is essential to stepping on the path in the first place. And it can be scary, can't it? It can be scary to expose things that you'd rather not expose. We want to hide sometimes, don't we? It's the ego that wants us to hide, and it's the ego that wants us to pretend that everything's okay when our heart, deep down innermost being knows it's not. That's why we want to seek transformation and a shift in the first place. So, just a quick note here, just to thank you for your vulnerability and courage, whatever your spiritual path looks like, or whatever your path of personal growth looks like, it's a highly courageous endeavor. And the reason it's a highly courageous endeavor is because we're setting our ego to the side. And the reason there aren't more people doing it is because it's a highly courageous endeavor. So, at what point do we need to reach? At what depths, maybe? What level of suffering do we need to reach before we ask for help? Well, I don't know. That varies for each of us. But because you're watching these videos, I know that you have reached this point somewhere along the way, and you have had the courage to ask for help. And if you have not yet asked and you're exploring, know that you can. You've got more help and much more love and support available than you may even imagine. I'm just one of many people that's here to offer this help and support. There are so many in this world. So my invitation to you is to seek them out. Seek them out. The world's full of people, let's face it, that don't have, at this point, the courage to say, okay, my way's not working. Please help me. And you have that. So thank you so much for bringing that to the table and for all of your efforts on the path, for your practice. That matters greatly to me. And I'm always happy to be of assistance and service to you. If you have any questions at all, you feel welcome to comment on this video or send me an email, and I would be more than happy to chat with you. All right, guys. Thank you again for tuning in here, and I will talk to you soon.